What's in a romance? The people?
Japan!
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. You're Korea, right?
Yeah, yep, that's me. This is Vietnam. Hello.
Now you're probably wondering who these women are, but the most important thing to know is what they all have in common.
China? Yeah, I know him. China? Oh my god. Is he here? China?
Me? Oh, China and go way back. We had a long-distance relationship though, so tons of things got lost in translation. But I actually met Korea first, since she helped me move into my house, where I ended up meeting China. I got to know Vietnam later though. She was in a hate-hate relationship with China. Or so she says.
I hate China. I hate him. I do. I don't even know why he approached me.
China sort of used me as a purse, now that I think about it. I didn't mind though. Back then, I regularly gave him money as tribute and acknowledgement of his superiority. But it wasn't too bad, since in return China helped me out in the academics, art, luxuries, and even shared some of his cool inventions with me. He was basically a king, and he even had the nickname Son of Heaven because he believed he was chosen by God or heaven. Pretty cool, right?
I paid tributary money to China. It was against my will, but I did.
I gave some tribute to China at some points, but didn't actually date since he never conquered me. What can I say? I'm an independent woman.
Although I am sure that he will not be coming in the evening light when the locusts shrilly call, I go to the door and wait.
So, a girl can have a crush. Besides, Murasaki's awesome. I love that woman.
Unlike Japan, China and I actually were in an official relationship, and he conquered me in the year 109 BC. He was the owner of my first apartment, called Chosan Guinto. So long ago now.
I still don't know what Korea sees in him. It wasn't as if China even cared what I thought or wanted. He still conquered me in 111 BCE, 2 years after we started to date Korea. So he was definitely a piglet and a cheater.
My relationship with him was actually the shortest out of us three. But I think Vietnam was just jealous because he let me copy his essay on government. Bureaucracy, I think it was called? In 646 CE. But besides, it didn't work out anyway, those psycho reforms.
He thought I was backwards and barbaric. I was a bit further and out of the way compared to Korea, sort of how Japan was. But I really didn't want anything to do with him.
You see, we were neighbors, and he was just a block away. Despite how I look, I actually met him over 2,000 years ago. Yeah, that's a long time. I started following Buddhism thanks to him. Oh, and I also started following his Confucian values.
I also got into Buddhism and pottery thanks to him. He absolutely complimented me on that, since I started improving on the things he already taught me.
One thing I'm sort of not really grateful for was that China gave me the idea of Buddhism and its emphasis on ordinary people. I guess I can also maybe credit him for getting more involved in arts and literature, especially poetry. I really like poetry. Someone I know wrote about how exactly I felt about China and the entire male population in general.
Our relationship was really close in, what was it? Oh, the 7th and 8th centuries. Common Era. I call that time of my life the Taika period because of the reforms I did, the Nara period, this is my street's name, and the Heian period, the apartment I moved to.
He basically hated everything about me that made me, me, back then. I lived on Red River Valley Avenue, south of his and Korea's neighborhood, and he made fun of me because I was a person of the South. He also hated how I chewed betel nut and blackened my teeth. That was really mean. All my friends did it too anyway. I mean, who doesn't love a good cockfight?
He was the one who taught me how to write. And it worked out really weirdly because I spoke differently than him anyway. Also, like Japan mentioned, he really likes politics, and he kept trying to push his ideas on a bureaucracy onto me.
It was after my attempt with the Taika reforms, and when China stopped using his nickname Tang, that I sort of broke up with him. Since he was getting really unbalanced, and almost as if he was having internal wars with himself.
My only grief is that I have not yet succeeded in hacking apart the enemy's body, peeling off his skin, swallowing his liver, drinking his blood.
What? I told you I hate him. You didn't believe me?
We do now.
But before we see the drama and the love, find out more about the women.
Despite the fact that I was the one under the influence of China for the longest time, I was still really unique. I ended up being super different in fashion, cuisine, and my social life.
After the Taika, Nara, and Han periods, I began to really become truly independent of China and his influences. I was starting to understand more about China, and the more I learned, the more ridiculous it seemed to give tribute to him and to grovel to him on my knees. Son of Heaven, please. That mandate of heaven thing was really starting to sound fake to me.
Like Korea, I am definitely unique and completely separate from China. For one, we spoke differently and my family was more close and nuclear compared to China's extended one. Another difference is the treatment of women. At that time, I believe women had more freedom and deserved to exert influence both in and outside of home.
China and I started to drift apart at one time though, because my dogs really hated him. It was terrible. Their names were Goguryeo, Shia, and Pache. I really liked all of them, even though they fought a lot.
It was in 838 when I truly decided to cut off ties, at least professionally with China. Although I still traded stuff and ideas still, I was really done with him.
I really broke up with China because of Sheila though. When Goguryeo and Pache died, I became really close to Shia for comfort because it was all China's fault for tricking me and distracting me that Goguryeo and Pache had died.
It was a time and rise of my strength and independence. And it was inspired by my cat. Fujiwara, I remember, was a very smart and strong cat. He was stoic and a true soldier. He also inspired the words samurai, bushi, even seppuku. He was my favorite at the time, especially for his strength.
China and I started drifting apart after that. I was actually still giving him tribute, and I still had respect for him, but he just wasn't really a big part of my life anymore.
Afterwards, I had a really depressing 5 years of my life because Fujiwara had passed on. It was the Genpei period. I still had my other cats though, Taira and Minamoto. They fought often. Taira was small and smart, while Minamoto, he was larger and stronger. When Taira and Minamoto died, Minamoto's kittens carried on as Kamakura and Ashikaga. I really loved those cats. They were so smart, strong, so courageous.
I was also different from China, Vietnam, and Japan, who embraced Confucianism more than I did. I really cared more from Buddhism and my social life. What I became best known for was the pottery that I did. Pretty neat, huh?
Why would he ever ask me out? We obviously hate each other.
Sure.
I'm serious.
Obviously, you've never been taught kindergarten 101.
Well, she's lucky though. She never had to go through an immature love-hate relationship.
True. But what is it with men anyway? Thinking that their happiness is our happiness, and somehow our pain actually makes us happy.
Because they hate us?
No! Can't be true. China would be a terrible guy if that was true.
How could they not believe me? So you no longer have feelings for him, right?
What? You jealous?
It's not. It's just, it's kind of awkward talking to you guys since all of us are exes, right?
I guess you could say that. Like I said, you don't really have to worry about me since I was never really dating him anyway. Plus, Korea and I have been dealing with this since the beginning, remember? True. I mean, I really like China. But Japan's my friends too.
Well, how about now? I mean, I thought we'd plot some sort of revenge or something.
Huh? Why? I thought we were here because you wanted your poetry to be put on Korea's pottery since you saw what you did for me. Yeah, I can see it for you too, Vietnam.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird if we see China again. That would be...
Wait, Japan? Korea and Vietnam too? What are you doing here?